Hello, welcome to Croatia Vibes, and this is Katarina van der Voort. Today we are going to talk about Africans in Croatia and the first African in Croatia. So, when I first heard about Croatia, I actually thought it was a country in Asia because for us Africans, we don't know about Croatia. Nobody talks about Croatia so much, and especially when you live in Africa, in East Africa. We were colonized by the British. So most Africans' dream is to go to the UK or to go to America because everybody's dream is America, and many Africans actually they want to go to America and the UK. And of course, it's because for us in East Africa, especially because I'm from Kenya, we speak English. So then it is easier to go to a country where you can understand the language as compared to another country like Croatia, for example. So, coming to the first African in Croatia, I think you might be wondering, are you the first African in Croatia? Okay, I am not the first African in Croatia. Reason being is that I came here in 2015. So this is my 7th year in Croatia. So I'm going to the 7th year in Croatia. So then when I came here, I actually came just in my backpack. So I didn't have anything to my name. I didn't have a car. I didn't have a house. And now I have 5 houses in Croatia. So really, it's a big achievement for me. And of course, now I have a car. I even didn't know how to drive a car, leave alone having one. So I just came with a backpack with my husband, and we just came here in Croatia to create our dream. And we had our dreams in our brains, but that is what we had, literally. Only clothes and our backpacks. And of course, I had a baby in my belly, so I was pregnant, a few months pregnant. So when we came here, it was really interesting for me because Croatia is a really white country. The Africans are really not really visible, they're not there. And that time they were actually not there because when I came here, there were about 156 Africans in the whole country. And of course, I didn't know about that. I didn't know any African. And it was really surprising for me, like where to begin to. Uh, I was not coming from my country or from Africa to come here in Europe, don't get me wrong, to meet other Africans or to create an African community. I'm always somebody who wants to challenge themselves. I always want to look for something new and meet new people. So then when I came here, of course, I met Croatians. And when I met Croatians, most of the people speak Croatian. So it took me some months and I started getting a bit bored, and of course wanting to meet new people, wanting to have friends, but then it was difficult because that time I only met people who spoke Croatian. So it was, I didn't have any friends in a new country. Everything was new, the food was new, everything really was new. So for me, it was really kind of a shock. And there were no Africans, even on the street, there were no Africans. So I literally just landed to a new, it's like landing to a new planet. So I was wondering, are they Africans? So one time I just alighted a tram, and I saw an African. I saw one man. He's an African, of an African descent. And of course, when I saw him, I thought, oh, this one looks like my brother, that's how you think. And of course, when he also saw me, he was like, wow, a black person. So then we actually started conversing and talking with each other immediately. So his name was Robert, and of course he has 2 daughters, and he's married to a Croatian. So he told me, according to him, he was the first African in Croatia, because when I searched through the internet, there is not so much information about Croatians living, about Africans living in Croatia. So then he told me all about himself or about Croatia. So he came here some years ago in 2000, the year 2000. So that is according to him. I don't know how true the story is, but he came here in the year 2000. But that time there was no African here in Croatia. So he was the first, among the first people. So because he felt so lonely in Croatia, then he thought of looking for another country to live in. So then he actually immigrated again to Norway. So to date, he lives in Norway, but because he has his wife here in Croatia, he decided to just be bringing his daughters here to come and see their motherland. But I was in luck because that day when I met him, he was actually going to leave the following day to Norway. So I met him on the right time. So when I met him, actually he introduced me to the rest of the Africans, because once you find one African, then you actually get to know almost all the others, because it's like a community, and you get to really introduce to everybody else as you continue getting to know each other. So they invited me to an African meeting, and there I met like 10 other Africans just in Zagreb alone. And that's how I realized that I was not the only black person here in Croatia. And then, well, there are Africans here in Croatia, but they are still not as many. We are still like the minority of the minority. Like if you see a black person, then it is really a different story. So then I decided to move from Zagreb to a very, very tiny, small village of 15 people. And this is really a dying village because it is formerly a Serbian village. So many Serbians fled during the war. So then we came here and we decided to call this our home. So when we moved here, again, I did not find any African. And since then, up to date, I'm the only African here in this region. Actually, it is usually very hard. Sometimes some children, when they see me, they start crying. And or sometimes there's a lady I met and she was wondering, oh, this is a black person. She was so surprised and so overwhelmed with feelings, like a Croatian lady. So she was hugging me, and then she was comparing my hand with her hand, because of course my hand is dark and her hand is of course very light. So it was really interesting to see that as a black person you are different from the other people, because well, when you come from Africa, or when you come from a country like Netherlands, there are so many black people in Netherlands. So it is not so special to be black in Netherlands, because they are left, right, and center. So they're everywhere. But when you come to a country like Croatia, you come here and then you find like there is nobody like you. You are the only person. Then you start getting the challenges, because sometimes you might think that it is easy, but there are things that you don't get prepared for. By, for example, the hair, making hair. My hair is actually an African hair, and when my hair is not plaited like this, it's really so afro, so it's everywhere. It's a lot of hair, I'm telling you. It is like this stereotypical kind of hair, African hair, the one here, the afro hair. So in Kenya, I had a salonist. I can just go to the hairdresser, sit down 1 hour, and then my hair is done, completely done. But when I came here, I got a shock, because I could not find somebody who could make my hair like this, like have braids like this, because this is extension. So I found it very difficult for me to cope with this country, and to cope, like to find somebody to do my hair. So even now it takes a long time before I find somebody who can do my hair, because it's difficult. It's not like when you're in your own country, or when you're in a country where there are also a lot of black people, then you can be able to find black people products. everywhere, and also black people, like people who can make your hair. But then again, I usually say I chose this country. The country did not choose me. It did not tell me to come from my comfort zone. So most of the times I'm always very appreciative. I'm very happy for what I get and for the people I meet. And actually, Croatian people are very hospitable to foreigners, and especially to somebody like me, because, well, I'm different. Because when I came here, I was wondering, how am I going to introduce myself to my new neighbors? But to my surprise, when we came here, when we just arrived in the village, we found them outside waiting for us. And then the next day, they invited us for a barbecue. Here in Croatia, it's called janjetina when they do a barbecue of a whole animal. So then we had a very big feast just at the neighbor's place. The following day, we literally moved in our house. We had not even unpacked our bags, but then the following day, we were already invited in a party and in a festival. That was really amazing for me. I will never forget that. But now I'm moving to a bigger a city, so to say, that is 3,000 people in the city. So then from 15 people to 3,000 people, so it's going to be a big change for me. But then of course my children have started going to school, and of course now I have to make those changes and shifts. So thank you for watching. What do you think? Do you know any black person in Croatia? Or are you a black person in Croatia? I would like to hear from you. Thank you for watching. I love you.